Hey everyone, welcome back to the Racefy Smokehouse and Grill. And we had so much fun dry aging a ribeye that I went to Costco and I found this 12-pound New York strip steak, and we are going to dry age this as well. Stick around, this is going to be awesome. Thanks for hanging in there, everybody. So we are going to dry age this New York strip steak using the UMAi Dry Aged Bags. We had such a good run with the ribeye that I had to try a strip steak. That ribeye, in case you haven't seen the video yet, I'll put a card up here somewhere and then a link in the description, because I did make a few mistakes when doing that one and it still came out great. Hopefully I've learned from my mistakes and we're gonna get this bad boy into the dry age bag right now. First thing we have to do is we're gonna cut this bag open and get all that purge out of here, because we want this meat to have no liquids going in with it, but you still wanna have some moisture on the meat itself. So we're gonna cut this open, let it drain into a bowl, discard of that, and then we're just gonna slide this piece of meat into the bag and pull it out. Let's get this purged, and once we're done emptying that bag, we're gonna get this into the UMAi bag. So we have all the purge drained. All I did was take scissors and cut along this end here, poured it into a bowl so I could discard. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the bag over the meat and then pull the bag out and get that meat in here. You want to be sure not to touch the meat with your bare hands, because if there's any bacteria on your hands, that could transfer to the meat and lead to issues as you're dry aging. Let's get this bag on. I like rolling this over, so as you're putting the meat in, you're not getting the outside of the bag dirty, you're getting the inside, and then you're gonna fold it back up, and that's where you're going to vacuum seal it. Let's get this bag out. Now the bag is over, and we're just gonna try to remove this other bag, the cryovac. Here we go. Discard this. Then I'm just gonna do a quick dry up of around the bag here. And we're gonna roll that over. So now this is nice and clean for when we go to vacuum seal it, which we're gonna do right now. Now my vacuum sealer doesn't have a big enough length to do it all in one shot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a quick angle, and I'm gonna do 2 seals on there. And by going on the angle, that's just gonna make it easier for us to do a complete seal. As I'm sealing this and pulling the air out, I'm gonna help push it along, because this bag is actually a membrane and we want this bag to stick to the meat as much as possible. So I'm gonna be pushing the air out. Again, this is a membrane, it's not a true bag. Moisture will be released and oxygen will be allowed in. So it's not a true vacuum seal. So as I'm vacuum sealing this, I'm gonna be trying to push as much air out of here as possible. So let's get this started, where I'm going to just put a couple quick seals on here. You gotta make sure you leave enough room for the little fabric that they give you that you need to put in there as well. We are going to now put this little fabric in here, and that also is going to let us get some air in and out of there. So let's hope this seals up okay. Okay, this is sealed up, looking good. You want to put that meat side down to start, so you make sure that membrane really sticks to the meat, fat side up, and just let it go. So this is gonna go in the fridge, and we're gonna go somewhere between 70 to 100 days on this guy. So we will be back when it's time to cut this open and see how it did. And with the magic of time, we are back. This has gone 100 days. When it got to about 70 days, I didn't have the time to pull this out, so I said, let it run. So we went to 100 days on this, and this is the first time we're gonna open it. 100 days we've waited. Let's open this up, hope it's still good, and check it out. We've taken it out of the bag. first test I like to do, now this is the second one that we've done here. The first one we did was a 35 day dry aged ribeye. This is a 100-day New York strip steak. And the first thing you're gonna test for is the smell. How does it smell? If it smells bad, you gotta get rid of it. I'm not getting any smell right now, so we gotta take a closer look here. It just smells like good beef. Not much of a smell at all, but the little smell there is, it's beefy. So that's a good sign. We know that it's not rot. So let's take a quick look here. What we got here. We got this nice pellicle formed. The bottom here, this is where the meat sat down so we could get that good contact with the membrane of the UMAi bag. This is still pretty tender, but we have a lot of this hard pellicle that we're gonna cut off. What I like to do is I'm going to cut off these edges and we're gonna save those. I still haven't figured it out yet. I think I'm gonna make some burgers. I'm gonna mix the pellicle from this strip, maybe mix it with the pellicle I saved from the ribeye, mix that with some ground chuck or maybe some brisket and make some awesome burgers. Let's deal with this right now. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna square these off, these edges off, so I have a nice square piece of meat to work with. And then my Vosteed knife here is exactly 2 inches at the widest point. So I'm just gonna kind of hunk off 2-inch thick steak, because once we cut this pellicle off, you're gonna lose a lot of that steak. Plus we've lost a lot of moisture out of here, so this steak is shrunk up, so we wanna make a nice thick steak. Let's get slicing this up. All right, so let's square this off and take a look to see what that inside meat looks like. Oh yeah, man, this looks super tender. Smells beautifully beefy here, but man, look at that color. This internal steak here is going to be amazing. Again, it's so tender. This dry aging process really breaks down that beef inside and makes it super tender. Like I could almost just put my finger through this steak. It's so tender right now. Okay, that's gonna be awesome. So now we're gonna go about 2-inch steaks, like I said, maybe a little over, and we're just gonna hack through these. Look at that beautiful meat. Absolutely gorgeous. Now that's a really thick steak, so maybe I'll cut it down just a touch here. But again, make them your size. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, cut the rest of these out, and we'll be back once this is all cut up. Have our steaks all sectioned off. Next step is we're going to take these steaks and just cut off this outer edge around here, so we're left with only this great super tender New York strip. But we want to make sure we get all this pellicle off of here. Nobody's going to want to eat that as a steak. It can be eaten in a ground something or other, burgers or whatever, but we're going to take that off so we can make steaks. We'll show you how we're going to do that here. Let's get these to the side real quick. We're gonna start with the big boy right here. So if you can see, there's a darker color and it's a little harder texture. Well, it's a lot harder texture all the way around. So we're gonna take this part off and try to only keep this inner part here. See, this is where you're gonna lose a bunch of that meat, and that's why I made thicker steaks out of them. Man, this is so tender. It's almost hard to cut through because it's so tender. Would like to leave some of this fat on here because fat is always good. Clean these up a little bit. There we have it. There is a 100-day dry aged New York strip steak. I cannot wait to eat these. So I'm gonna go ahead, finish trimming all these up here, and we'll be back when these are all trimmed up. See you in a second. All right, there it is. We have all of our steaks trimmed up. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strip steaks out of here. Look how much trimming we took off. This is gonna make for some great burgers down the road. These are gonna make for some great steaks now. Again, look at how beautifully colored these are. They're super tender. You could almost put your finger through there. The tenderness is just unreal. The smell that you're getting out of these is this wonderful, earthy, beefy scent that you know is just gonna translate to some great flavor. I can't wait to fire these up on the grill. Stick around for the next video where I cook these up and try them out. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any questions about the process, please feel free to hit me up. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you later. Peace.